everybody, I'm back for another video. I was up late this evening. It was our second night of Seder, so we had a wonderful Pesach Seder dinner. And I was just kind of trying to journal and looking at all the different things that I have here in front of me, and just kind of in a state of just thought, question. And it looks like Kitty might be trying to jump up on the table. I see some claws. I worry because she's by the candles, and she's also by the light. I'm gonna blow out our Shabbat candles. We had those lit for Seder dinner. And just kind of talk through some of the things that I have here that I've been using. So just a little planner chit chat, I guess. I'm sure you just saw Kitty's tail. She's trying to jump down, I guess. There she goes. Okay. So you can see I have a lot of stuff here on the table. I was using my new Foxy Fix as my wallet, but my new documented journey notebook came, and so I moved my calendar, my monthly calendar, in it, and I moved a just a grid notebook in it, and I've been thinking about turning it into a traveler's notebook. We'll see. I haven't decided if I'm going to be brave enough to poke some holes in it. But the other day, when I was creating that video where I was setting up the traveler's notebook for my mother, I decided to set up my... Alright, I've got stuff in here. My micro, my number 0, as my wallet. And I wanted to share one of the reasons why. Since it is, the time that it is, and everyone's being very careful about where they're going, I felt, since this is a hardy, rugged leather, this is the Foxy Fix Cedar, the wildflower in the cedar. It's a very sturdy leather. I've had it for a little, oh gosh, actually I've had it over a year. I've had it like a year and a couple of months, or a year and a couple of weeks, I guess. Since I've had this for a while, it's had its fair share of use. I used it for most of One Book July last year, and I wanted to have something that would be smaller and compact. Yes, the passport is small and compact, but you can also see it is quite a bit bigger, and this doesn't fit into my pocket that well, especially when it has all of the inserts and cards and stuff in there. So I wanted to have something that would be small, compact, and I can fit it in and out of my pocket without having to set it down on the grocery carts and stuff like that. So that's my reason for switching to the micro. Another reason is also because these are just some of the Foxy Fix dot grids, so I can create little lists of things that we have or that we need. And then if I want to, I can just rip the page out and toss it, or keep track and then create a new list. And it's small and compact, and it's very easy to wipe down with a like a Clorox or one of those wipes. So that's why I switched to that, because it's smaller than this, or smaller than my standard, or smaller than a pocket, or smaller than a personal. So it's, I think, in this time that we are in right now, this is the best size on the go notebook for me. I've got a calendar in there, and then 2 blank dot grid notebooks for all of the notes I need to take, plus all of the wallet stuff. So that's kind of my thinking behind this. I haven't really looked at this one much this week. I was going to be using it for keeping track of some things that we want to get for my parents' property in Ohio. And there for a while, I was using it to keep track of the day that we were quarantined. And then I was using it to keep track of, the number of cases, the deaths, the recovery rate. And then that just started to get a little bit much for me. So I haven't looked at that since Monday. I kind of set that aside. But I've been thinking quite a bit. I moved everything from... I wasn't all of my standard traveler's notebooks. I was using a camel, I was using a blue, I was using an olive for my Hebrew study, and I was using the brown for my schedule and my planner. And I decided to move, since this one arrived last month. I have 3 single elastic Foxy Fixes, one in the Wildflower Sedona, one in one of the special blues from a few years ago, and one in the Rowena. And so we have journal, YouTube and stuff, and this is my daily personal planner. And with all of the cancellations of concerts, like all of those that are in yellow are things that got canceled for April. Oh, and this happened earlier. Let me get that highlighter out, if I know where I put it. We had Seder, and so I had to rearrange things because the dining room table is my work table for when I'm having to teach my classes now online. So here, we did this yesterday in my other notebook. Canceled, 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 canceled. And I think I got everything else. Canceled. I knew there was one I was forgetting. Canceled, 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 canceled. Oh, canceled. There. Tis the season for cancellations. But I was going through some things today, and I didn't even write them. Like dishes, they got done. Kitty litter, we're going to do that tomorrow. Wait, this is I'm on the wrong week. See, it tells you. Wrong week. Okay. Dishes, done. Kitty litter, we're going to do tomorrow. I don't even bother setting the coffee maker up since I don't have to be up early anymore. Yeah, so I was thinking of some fun things that I wanted to do for some quick lunches to make some things, a little different. I want to get some nori so we can make some vegetarian sushi for myself and for the husband, and some miso tofu soup and some green tea. I thought it'd be nice to kind of have a nice lunch, like a nice lunch over the weekend or early next week, kind of like a Japanese day. And also something I thought was try to have lettuce and veggies at every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just to, keep that going. But something that I noticed is that, the number of to-dos, daily to-dos, have gotten fewer. The days have taken on a new shape, and I want to get to a new normal, or discover what the new normal is in this situation that we have. I want to try to create a better daily schedule. And some of the things I wanted to fit into my schedule were, of course, my flute, my Hebrew, my Torah study, time with Torah, of course, time on the treadmill. I want to try to get that in every day. And I'm going to spend some time this week, just in thought about how I see my days coming, or the schedule, how the shape, the flow of my days are going to be in this new normal. I sat down. I didn't really plan anything. That really hasn't been happening. But I sat down to journal the other night, and I've been listening a lot to those, lo-fi study girl, YouTube channels. I think it's like Chilled Cow or something like that. And so I decided to draw the girl that's studying, and I really, I'll link a couple down below, or maybe I'll create up here a little info card for you. But I really like those, just because it's very calming music, but some of it has a little bit of an upbeat. Some of them you can hear like raindrops in the back, and for me, the sound of rain is incredibly soothing. And I've watched a few YouTube videos. I've watched a few movies. I watched like almost 2 full seasons of one of my favorite shows from back in the day, Earth Final Conflict. And then like after, binge watching 2 seasons in like a day and a half, I was like, okay, you've got to stop. There's only, 3 more seasons. Take your time. There's no need to watch it all over again. I mean, I have the DVDs, and the only reason I'm watching it is because it's on Amazon Prime. We have the DVD, so I don't have to. I can watch it whenever I want. So, I just need to try to find a way to create a new normal, or how do I guess that's a way of putting it. But I want to be very thoughtful and very intention filled with how I'm creating my day. But one thing that I have loved is I have loved putting on these and, not getting sucked into the drama of a TV show or a series, but just having the music to kind of, be calm and meditate by, and do some doodling. I think that's why I couldn't journal tonight, is I didn't have this music on. I had a movie playing in the background, and the movie had tension in it, and it reminded me it's of a book that I read when I was in junior high, one of those V.C. Andrews books. So I didn't really journal much, and just thinking that here's the second night of Passover, and my husband put together a wonderful Seder meal. I'll insert some photos here. We had, some brisket and kugel and asparagus, and grilled asparagus, grilled zucchini. Of course, we had our matzah and all of this stuff on the plate, the bitters and all of that. We had this really wonderful matzah cake, like chocolate cake, and we had some Passover safe macaroons. There was like a red velvet that was tasty, but it needed a little, what's it called? It needed some cream cheese, but unfortunately we had just had the beef, so we couldn't have any dairy like cheese or milk. I'm trying to, what else did we have? Oh, we had matzo ball soup. The matzo ball soup was wonderful. I could go for matzo ball soup any day. I think it's because I also love chicken noodle soup, and since we can't have noodles because of the gluten and the yeast, I'll definitely go with the matzo ball soup. So it was a wonderful, wonderful meal. But I got thinking as our whole, temple congregation, got together over Zoom, the purpose of Pesach, the purpose of Passover is community and bringing us together and to be together but to be separate just felt so strange. It was very comforting to see everybody, but it was I don't know how to describe it. It was very surreal, the feel of it all. But it was so nice to be able to enjoy a meal, to break matzah with so many of our friends. So that's kind of where I am today. When you compare I'll put my journal up. When you compare my to-dos from the beginning of the year, when you compare my to-dos from the beginning of the year to, right around spring break when all of this happened, my schedule was quite busy. Here we were the week before spring break, and it's really kind of like we started quarantining ourselves like around this weekend. Yeah. So it's really, really, really kind of hard to believe that it's been 1, 2, 3. This is our 4th week of this, so it's kind of hard to believe that this is what we're going through, and so many other places have gone through, so much more due to where they are and what's going on. So I just thought I would come and share, what are you doing to help with the time? I know so many of you are mothers, and so you're having to take care of the children and do the homeschooling, and I give you kudos for that, because as a teacher, I know that is not an easy task, especially when mothers are usually the one that are in charge of the cleaning of the house, the taking care of the children, the taking care of the meals. And for you, it must feel like this is just, like a time of never-ending work. Something we've done here in our household is my husband's the cook, and I'm so thankful for that. I can cook like a couple of dishes. I can make a mean gumbo, and I can make a really great, blackened tuna steak. That's about it. But, he's the cook, and so since we're at home and we're cooking all of our meals, we have, we've got a nice supply of stuff that we could, stay here for the next 3, almost 4 weeks without having to leave. But, we made the deal that, okay, he does the cooking and I will help in any prep I can. Because when I was in college, I did work as a prep chef at the Embassy Suites in Baton Rouge, just off of the highway near downtown, and so I can chop veggies to my heart's content. I'll even chop onions if need be. Just give me some goggles to put on. And I will do the dishes. So I have been doing a ton of dishes. So not only am I, washing my hands a lot and hand sanitizing, but also washing them a lot. So that's how I've been doing my help. I've also been, like cleaning the floors and, trying to do some of that type of stuff. So, what are you doing? How are you managing through this time of change? Are you reading more? Are you watching more? Are you, something that I've wanted to do is start walking on the treadmill. Maybe when it's a little bit safer, maybe taking Seamus for longer walks, just because we live in a downtown area. We go out, we'll take him down the street and back. Sorry, put the pen down, John. We'll take him down the street and back and sit outside with him for a little bit, but wanting to stay safe, especially when you live in an apartment building. It can be a little challenging. I long for my parents' property in Ohio. I long for the woods where they're out in the middle of nowhere, where I can just go and sit outside and not be around anyone because the nearest neighbor is, a mile down the street. So who knows? Maybe that will be our summer adventure, heading to the woods. So there you go. I just wanted to kind of, sit and share a little bit of what I've been thinking the past few weeks, and I haven't really been able to verbalize it. I haven't really had much content on my channel. I did post a lot of flute videos, and I don't think people liked that because I had a lot of subscribers unsubscribe because of that. But I wanted to share that because that's something that gives me peace in this time. Sharing music. I've got a couple of more things. One of them is a live performance. One of the last concerts I played, where we did the Ravel introduction in Allegro. Me, another professor at the university, played with a group of students in the string orchestra and a student harpist. I will get that edited and get it up, and it won't have any photos. It'll just be, you can put the music on in the background and listen to it to, give you a little calm during your morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you choose, if you choose to listen to it. So there we are. If you are celebrating Passover, I hope you have a wonderful Passover. I hope you are able to share time with your loved ones. For those of you that celebrate Easter, I know Good Friday is upon us, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter Sunday. I heard the governor of New York say that the Easter Bunny is okay, so he's allowed to go to work, so you'll be getting lots of little treats, I hope. And, if you have any thoughts, if you have any comments, let's start a discussion down below just to kind of see how everyone is checking in with themselves and how they want to, make the most of this time. It's actually been kind of nice not to have so much to do just to keep you occupied, to keep me occupied. Sometimes I feel like fill up my days with just so many to-dos that when the day's done, I just crash. And it's been interesting to experience a different flow to my day. And that's one thing that I think I'm going to track. I might track, the flow to my day to see what type of a schedule I can create. And if that is something that I want to create and something that I need to create, we'll see. I'll check in with you again next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and bye-bye.